Welcome back to the STEM project for the November session. My name is Krista Hodges and I'm the Education Manager for the Dan River Basin Association. Today we are starting with the STEM project. We're going to do some water quality monitoring, and we are here at the Dan River at the Danville Science Center. So we are utilizing their water quality monitoring station. So let's just take a look at the beautiful Dan River today. You can see it's a nice sunny day. There's very few clouds in the sky today. You can see that the water is also a little bit turbid today, and we will talk about that a little bit more in our water quality monitoring project today. This project is made possible with support from the Virginia Environmental Endowment for the Community Conservation Program. And we are doing this through a partnership with the STEM Academy in Pittsylvania County for your 6th grade students. So we will follow you guys, if you remember from the last video, we will follow you guys from your 6th grade year into your 7th grade year. Alright, so what we're going to do is take our bucket here, and we're going to use our little setup here, and we're going to throw the bucket out into the river. And we're going to collect our sample of water that we're going to be utilizing for our test today. So let's go ahead and get that started. Today we are going to be filling out your water monitoring field data sheet. So you should have received this in your packet along with a turbidity chart, a wide range pH chart, and then these little things here are called Secchi disc. So you should have at least one of those in your kit for today. We'll talk about what to do with that in just a minute. And then you should also have 2 pH test strips. So we're going to use these for your water samples today, and we will compare them to your pH chart. So with your water monitoring field data sheet, we will go ahead and get started filling it out. You can put your name at the top. Now this top section you guys are going to do with me. You and I are going to do this together, and we're going to use our Dan River water sample to get our answers for these questions. So if you will, go ahead and start filling out your water monitoring field data sheet. You can put your name at the top, and for the Darba section, you can put that the site is the Dan River. So our next question is the weather type. If you guys will recall, it is a beautiful day today. It is sunny outside with very few clouds in the sky. So we're going to go ahead and put down for our first answer here for weather type. We're going to put that it is a sunny day. Now, rainfall. Within the past 24 hours, we have received some rainfall, and that is why the water is turbid today, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. So you can go ahead and put down, if you want to look on your phone, you can always look at that and find the rainfall. You can look at any weather website to find the rainfall. For this purpose, I did this beforehand. So we got 3/4 of an inch of rain within the past 24 hours. Now, we're going to look at the water color. What is the color of the water? So you got several choices here: clear, muddy, oily, foamy, milky gray, green, brown, black. Is there a sheen on the water, or does it have ice on the water? Let's take a look. So right now the water looks kind of turbid, which would be kind of, let's see, which one does it match on our sheet here? So it's not clear, you can't see all the way to the bottom, so it might be more of a muddy color today. So we're going to go ahead and circle muddy. Alright, so if you are following along on your sheet, the next thing that we are going to fill out is water temperature and air temperature. So we have our thermometer here. The temperature for today, we're in the shade, so it's a little bit cooler than what it would be in the sun. It's about 65 degrees. So out in the sun, it's going to be closer to 70. So we're going to go ahead and put that down for air temperature on our sheet. So we'll say 65 degrees Fahrenheit. And then our water temperature. So we have our sample here of the water that we collected from the Dan River. We're going to go ahead and put our thermometer into the water and see what the temperature is. Alright, after letting this sit for about a minute or two in the water, we're going to check our temperature. So it's very interesting. Our water temperature is very close to our air temperature. So we're getting into the cooler time of the year. Temperatures are starting to drop outside, but our water is still warm from summertime. So if you look really closely, you can see that our water temperature is about 70 degrees. So we're going to go ahead and put that down on our sheet. 70 degrees Fahrenheit for our water temperature. For the next part, we are going to do turbidity and pH. Now you guys need to pay close attention to how we do these two tests, because these are the two tests that you guys are going to do at home. So you have your Secchi disc that you received in your packet. What you will need to use with that to check the turbidity of your water sample is a cup. Now it can be a solo cup, a plastic cup like this, or if you don't have any of these at home, you can use a reusable cup, like a glass cup or a plastic cup that you might have in your kitchen. So go ahead and get your Secchi disc, your little sticker here, and you're going to go ahead and peel it off, and we're going to put it on the bottom of the cup. So go ahead and put it down on the bottom. And you're going to want to collect about 4 inches of water filled up in your cup to be able to look to see what the accurate turbidity level is. So we're going to go ahead and use our sample this time here from the Dan River, and we're going to fill it up to about 4 inches. So you can use a ruler to kind of guess. You can stick it down in there to see what your amount is when you put the water in there. And when you get to about 4 inches, you want to go ahead and look down into your cup and see. Now we do have some turbidity in the water today. So we're going to take our little chart here and we're going to compare it to what we're seeing. Now you see down here at 100 JTU, that means the water would be really, really turbid. About 40 JTU, the water is going to be slightly turbid. You're going to be able to see through it most of the way. And on your chart, this one, the black and white, is going to be a little bit more on the gray side, the gray. Then for the 0 JTU, that means that the water is completely clear, and you would be able to see the black all the way in your cup. So if we're comparing here, the water is slightly turbid. So we're going to say our JTU is 40 for today for our turbidity. So we'll go ahead and fill that in on our paper here. 40 JTU. And then the next thing that we're going to do is pH. So you can do that in your same cup of water that you have your sample in that you did turbidity. And you're going to take your little chart and hold that up. And you're going to hold your test strip down into the water. Alright, so after you've held your test strip in the water for about 30 seconds, you can go ahead and pull that out, and we're going to compare it to our chart here, our wide range pH chart. Now, the normal range that you should expect to see for pH of like a river, a waterway, a stream, or your drinking water should be between around a 6 or a 7. 7 is neutral on the pH range. So that's what we hope to see. For this one today, it looks a little bit light. So I would say it's between a 6.5 and a 7. So we're going to go ahead and put 6.5 down on our chart. Now on your pH level, if you see more of a 10, that's going to be on your basic side. And then if you see closer to a 4, that's going to be more acidic. So just to give you an idea, like if you did lemon juice, that would be more acidic. Or if you had baking soda, that would be more on your basic side. Okay, so we have completed our field data sheet up to additional comments. And again, this is still for the Darba section. So we're going to take a look around here at the Dan River and see if we have any additional comments about this area that we can provide that might be helpful for water quality monitoring. So anything unusual that we might see. I hear some geese over there, so that could be something that you could notice, that you see wildlife. Oh look, there's the geese. So the only additional comment that I put down for today is that we spotted some wildlife. We saw geese. So we have completed our Darba section of the field data sheet. So now you guys are ready to complete your student section. So in this part, you will compare 2 different water samples. You can use tap water from your home. If you have a neighbor nearby, you can ask them for some of their tap water as well, and that can be your 2 different samples. Or you can use rainwater. If you know that it's going to rain and you can set a cup out and collect rainwater, you can use that. Or if you can safely access a stream with your family or with a parent around, you can use stream water to compare with your tap water. So go ahead and get your 2 samples of water, and you will write down either for site 1, is it either tap water, rainwater, stream water, is it your neighborhood, your neighbor water, and then same thing for site 2. You're going to write what that sample is coming from. And then you are going to do turbidity and pH for each of those samples so you can compare the information. After you have completed the student section, you will be ready to turn in your information for your first water quality monitoring session with the Dan River Basin Association for the STEM project. We are hoping to be able to do this water quality testing again in the spring. We would like for you guys to be able to take a field trip to the Danville Science Center to be able to do this testing on your own. But of course this depends on if you guys are in school and if you're able to take a field trip at that point. But hopefully if you're able to take a field trip, we can come here and do the water quality testing at this site and you guys can compare the information. So talking a little bit about pollution. Now we mentioned turbidity. What does turbidity come from? I told you that we have received some rainfall within the last 24 hours. Turbidity is when you get sediment or other particles into the waterways. So we're measuring turbidity because if you get a lot of sediment in the stream, it is bad for the wildlife that are in the stream, such as the fish and the aquatic insects. And it can cause them to die if you get too much and you get it too frequently. So where does the sediment come from? If you look over there, you can see a stream bank that has some trees missing. And you can see that there's a little bit of a problem there with erosion. It's a very, very minor problem, but when you get an area like that that has a lot of erosion and it rains, that soil ends up washing into the waterway. And when you get a whole bunch of soil washing into the waterway, it ends up making the streams really, really turbid. And again, this is bad for the wildlife. So this is one source of pollution that affects our wildlife. And you guys will learn more about this when you are introduced to your stream table kits with your homeschool teachers. With your stream table kits, you'll learn about the dynamics of a stream and the way that the stream changes as the water moves through the banks, and over time you can see that a bank will move. And you'll also learn about erosion problems and how it affects the waterways. Thank you for doing your water monitoring activity with us today, and we look forward to seeing you guys very soon in the spring. Thank you. Bye.